Thank you for joining me here today at Childhood Potential Online Montessori Conference. I'm Cath O'Reilly, and today I'll be discussing the overload on moms in the first 3 years of their child's life and how to support the birth of the mother. Matrescence. The word I had not heard of until my 4th trimester. After being in early childhood education, after consuming all the materials that I could on conscious and respectful parenting, child development, child psychology, you name it, I consumed it. Matrescence was new to me. This may be the first time that you have heard of the word matrescence, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because we do not discuss it or explore it enough. You may have heard of the phrase, when a child is born, so is a mother. But has anyone stopped and explained it to you? So often this phrase is thrown around with careless ease. In the discussion, we are going to take a deeper look at matrescence. What is it? And what does it mean? What happens when a new mom is born, and how can we support new moms? And please be aware that the definition that I'm using of new mom includes adoption, surrogacy, and birthing. Furthermore, it refers to any mom who has a new infant, whether it's their first, their second, or their 5th. Every time a new infant is added to a family, a mother will go through matrescence. So it was only during my 4th trimester that I learned about matrescence and fully understood the true meaning of becoming a mother. Unlike the needs of an infant, which are highly visible, tangible, and audible, the needs of a mother are often invisible to everyone except herself. And for decades, women have been taught to silence their own needs. And so few moms speak up about it or talk about it to other new moms. And so this transformation into motherhood is not spoken about enough. Did you feel this? Do you feel that so much emphasis was placed on your new infant and very little was placed on you becoming a mom? And so there was so much shock and surprise when you did become a mom. I even found this at the hospital when I gave birth. The hospital staff made so much effort to ensure that my baby had everything that she needed. And when we left, made sure that she was okay, her car seat was okay, everything was great. We were a-okay. No one had stopped to ask me, "Are you okay?" It was only when I got home that I realized that the anti-clotting medication that my OBGYN had asked them to fulfill had not been given to me. I then had to go back and fetch it and ask them for the medication that I needed. And this is the reality of so many new moms. New moms are taking care not only of their infants, but of themselves as well. So many emotions are swirling through your head. If you've given birth, you are adjusting, your body is healing. And it's difficult to look after yourself and your infant. And then we wonder, when am I going to feel like myself again? When will my body get back to how it was pre-pregnancy? And so often I have moms asking me this. These are common questions asked by new moms. Yet few or very vague answers are given to them. The topic of becoming a mother is not discussed or explored in our society. Instead, mothers are left to feel like they are thrown into the deep, and then feelings of guilt and shame arise when they don't magically feel amazing after the 6-week checkup, which is a lie. Because you won't feel like yourself after the 6-week checkup. The transformation into motherhood does not end at 6 weeks or even 4 months. It can extend a year or more. Each time you have a new infant, you go through matrescence again. And I've had moms say it feels like it's never ending. I've had 2 children right after each other. When am I going to feel like myself again? These are normal questions to ask. And no, you're not going crazy by asking these questions or feeling like this. So where does this word come from? And why do we know so little about it? Dr. Dana Raphael, an anthropologist, first coined the term matrescence in her work, The Tender Gift. Most recently, the term has been revived by Dr. Aurelie Athan, a reproductive psychologist at Columbia University, and many other brilliant authors and teachers have expanded on the work. Matrescence sounds familiar to adolescence, and this is not a mistake. Like adolescence, matrescence is a transformative period where a woman transforms into and through motherhood. A change is happening, and she will experience changes influenced by her own biology, psychology, spirituality, and economical and social environment and political environment that she finds herself in. These all create changes in her identity. According to Dr. Athan, identity is fluid, and it changes with each new experience that comes into our life. We are meant to change when we enter motherhood, not bounce back to our former selves. I wonder what it would look like if we embraced matrescence. Imagine if more knew about this life-transforming experience that happened when becoming a mom. Imagine the collective passion, inclusion, and support mothers would have. Imagine mothers being supported through their grief and supported through and celebrated through the many joys and gifts of matrescence. Imagine mothers supported through the transformation and navigation of their new identity and feeling like they belong and like they can contribute to their community. The reality, because new moms are not supported through matrescence, there is an overload on moms. There is so much pressure. There are so many things to do. Matrescence is not a one-time event. It is not linear. It is ongoing. Every stage of motherhood has new challenges that deserve support. However, the study of supporting moms has not been studied well enough for the last 20 years. Instead, mothers are seen as the vessels to their baby's health, and the health of the mothers themselves is overlooked. It is for this reason that Dr. Athan started her coursework and teaching at Columbia University. It is acknowledged that mothers form the cornerstone of psychological and social theories about human development and systems. Yet, there is so little focus on mothers' minds themselves, their own minds. For example, I'm sure you can testify, you are told how to parent your child. You are told all the things, amazing things that you can do to create an amazingly healthy child. But no one has stopped and asked you, how are you feeling? How is your mental health? Here are some things that you can do as a mother to ensure that your mental health and physical health is optimum. It is universally recognized that a mother's care for her child is instrumentally important for her child's development. However, mothers themselves are neglected, and oftentimes their struggles are overlooked and minimized. The experience of matrescence is critical, and this is what we need to understand. It's not just important, it is critical, because how well a new mom is allowed to adapt to her new role is critical. It is critical not only for her well-being, but for her child's well-being as well. Her adjustment to her new role will also influence her future roles, her future relationships, and her future ethical choices. Depending on the quality of her matrescence, a new mom may be significantly expanded or she will be reduced. And during matrescence, a new mom is both vulnerable and powerful. During this time, new moms need quality social support as well as healthcare. And we know that moms need quality healthcare, yet we forget about the quality social care. So what can be done to support moms through this transition that we call matrescence? To support moms, we can start by reconstructing what motherhood means. Historically, motherhood has been mandated as a female imperative due to female biology. However, two events started to question these traditional paradigms. Firstly, the feminist movement in the Western world for the last 20 to 30 years has moved us away from thinking that motherhood is the essential or only true potential of a woman's fulfillment, and highlighted the lack of power that mothers are given. Secondly, through the medical lens, motherhood has been partnered with risk, and postpartum period has come to imply psychopathology and dysfunction. While these 2 points are important and true, and they've contributed to the critical need of communication about the problematic elements of motherhood, they have not left much room for the other side of motherhood, the self-empowering and growth-promoting side of motherhood. To quote Dr. Ethan, maternal ambivalence is natural and purposeful. The joy and pain inherent in the day-to-day experiences of mothering are designed to be fruitful and growth-inducing by ultimately accelerating a woman's spiritual development. Our culture, however, does not recognize the ambivalence as a defining factor of matrescence, nor does it respect matrescence as a critical woman for spiritual transformation in women. When I say spiritual transformation, this is not implied as religious transformation. This is implied as transformation of ourselves, personal development. Thus, we need to reconstruct the way that we look at motherhood so that women are not left alone to navigate this time full of ambivalence. We should welcome the ambivalence and support new moms through it. The conflict that is found in ambivalence often feels like a push and pull between emotions. And I've often heard moms explain it as, I don't know if I'm coming or if I'm going. I don't know where I am. It feels like I'm being pulled in different directions. I have this emotion and then I suddenly have that emotion. The greater the separation is of mothers experiencing matricide and the support that mothers need, the greater the chance is that mothers will experience dysfunction. The greater the chance is that mothers will experience postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, etc. So the more support we provide to a mother, the more comforted, the more healthy she is, the more regulated she is. Secondly, we can let go of expectations. One way to welcome the ambivalence is to let go of expectations in motherhood. Let go of how you think a mother should act or how a mother should feel. There is no should in matricide. Each mother, whether they became a mother through adoption, surrogacy, or birthing, will go through their own experience of matricide. And this all depends on the environment that they find themselves in, the person's personal experiences, and their race, their culture. All of these will play a part in the experience of matricide. So there is no list of this is exactly what you're going to feel when you go through matricide. When you become a new mom, take time to reflect on your own childhood, because this will influence your own maternal identity. Reflect on how you were mothered and ask yourself, what would you like to keep? What would you like to change? And you are allowed to change the way you mother compared to the way that you were mothered. You own your own parenting journey, and you can make your changes. You can break cycles. You can create new cycles, new patterns, new traditions. Thirdly, set up a game plan to ease the pressure and start thinking about this before the infant arrives. Now, much like a birth plan, a game plan will have the possibility of not working out completely, and that's okay. We don't have the expectation for everything to go along the lines that it's supposed to, but at least we know here are the guidelines and here are the boundaries. Because conflicts can arise, tensions can increase, and research shows that relational satisfaction decreases after a new infant is added to a family. While you may have a vision for the kind of motherhood that you would like to craft, it is also important to craft and think about how you want your motherhood to interact with everybody else around you, and specifically the other primary caregivers for your child. It is important that you are all on board. It is helpful for families to create a mission statement or some guidelines that define their goals and values. You don't have to write it down, but you can. You could write it down, you could put it up somewhere, you could just write it in a book so that you can always turn back to that. Start the conversation with the following questions. What does your family stand for? How will you and your partner support each other? And what are your non-negotiables? Like your in-laws not showing up unexpectedly, or once a month you need a time out with your friends. Set these non-negotiables down so that you get your boundaries and your needs met. Motherhood can also feel extremely isolating. So it is important to identify who you would like to add to your village. We know we need a village to raise a child, but you get to choose your village and you get to define how they show up for you. For those in the village, offer your help without being asked. And don't take offense if your help is not needed. Be there for the new mom when they need you. And this, of course, doesn't mean drop everything all the time. You, of course, also have boundaries. But ask the mom how they're doing. Offer to help her with housework, with errands, to cook some meals as she gets into the new rhythm. And accept her. Accept her when she's feeling great and accept her when she's not. Fourthly, take time to connect with yourself again. Birthing mothers, whether via vaginal birth or C-section, need time to heal physically. And research shows that it takes 6 to 8 months to recover from labor and delivery. So no new mom is going to be fully healed up at the 6-week checkup. Even adjusting to the way that you look in the mirror can take time. And give yourself time and give yourself grace. Embrace who you are becoming and accept who you are in the moment. It's common for new moms to feel as if their body doesn't belong to them anymore and to grieve their pre-baby body. Breastfeeding or chest feeding moms might feel as if their baby is always attached to them and they get touched out so easily. And it can be a struggle to get time alone. So be there for those moms. Give them the time and space that they need to reconnect with themselves and take space for yourself. I'm going to talk about that now. Getting exercise is another great way to reconnect with your body. And note, the goal here is not to lose weight or to get fit or to bounce back to who you were. The goal is to move your body, to feel your muscles move, reconnect with your physical body, and release mood-boosting endorphins. Now, coming back to the space, create a space where you don't have to think about baby, and you don't have to feel guilty for this. Creating a space to think only about your own needs is positive for your child, because in these moments you are modeling self-care to your child. You are demonstrating that your needs are important as well. It is these moments of self-care where you are only focusing on your needs that help to refill your cup so that you can give your best parenting to your child. And for those in the village, help new moms to get time away from baby. Offer your time to look after baby without running to the mom every time the baby startles or cries, because it's not just moms that can soothe a crying baby. This is, of course, not including emergencies or if a baby is exclusively breastfeeding or chest feeding. Fifthly, ground and recenter your own mind. And this can be done in those spaces that you have where you only think about yourself and you refill your cup. But find times where you can think about your emotional well-being. Take a few moments to check in with yourself every now and then throughout your day. Include meditation and journaling into your morning routine or your evening routine of your day to keep those ever-swirling thoughts in check. I would often use breastfeeding as a time to ground myself and reconnect with myself. I would do some grounding exercises or breath work meditation, as there was nothing else I could do. I was holding a baby. And I think this also helped with bonding with my baby, because let's get real. A new birthing mom does not automatically feel connected and bonded with her baby. It takes time for mom and baby to connect and bond, no matter how they became family. Some helpful journal prompts that you could use are, what do I need right now in this moment? Or how can I remind myself that I am loved and I am worthy? What went well today? What went well yesterday? And what brought me joy today or yesterday? To help with the isolation that you may be feeling, take time to connect with local moms groups in person or online, and take time to connect with old friends and create new friends. As daunting as that sounds, social interaction is an important part of human mental health. To end off, you will find yourself again. Reframe I have lost my identity to I have expanded my identity. I am expanding my identity. Caring for an infant in the first 3 years of their life is exhausting. And it can be mind-numbing. It can feel like, I'm sure you felt those moments because I know I have. You will get the hang of your new identity that you are navigating, and you will become more confident as a mother. You have experienced hard times before, and you are experiencing hard moments now. You are transforming and evolving through them into the mother that you are. As your baby is growing, you are growing. Together, mother and child grow. And this beautiful growth needs to be protected and nurtured by yourself and by the village around you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that this was as insightful and motivating for you. If you would like to make more contact with me, please don't hesitate to drop me a DM on Instagram or an email. Hope to see you and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.